Hi, everyone. We are live. We're back. Happy New Year. Happy 2016. Welcome to our inaugural webisode of Black Witch Chronicles 2016. I'm Zoe Flowers from New York City.
And I'm Lakeisha Harris here in Ontario, Canada.
Hi, I'm Dr. G Love in a remote location somewhere near the equator. Yeah, ocean, plenty water.
So, we are going to be talking about manifesting. We've already started to have our conversation. And so, who wants to start us off and talk about what we were talking about?
Well, a couple of things that I guess I can start off. So before the webisode, Zoe was really pounding the Fela, and I just went into a trance and pulled a card. So the card that I came up with comes from the Mother Peace deck. I don't know if you all can see that, but that is the Nine of Wands. And if you look around her, she's shrouded by these wands that are ablaze, 9 of them. And to her left and right side, she has the serpent energy, what we call the Kundalini energy. And also take note that the card is red. Okay, so all of that, the number 9, the serpent energy, the color red, they all mean something with this card. And since we're talking about manifesting, all right, one of the things that we need to talk about is how we access healing for ourselves. This card in particular, because it was pulled and it was upside down, talks about our wisdom, our expression, the fact that we have been really, as activists and as spirit people, burning the candle at both ends. This card talks about like 9 wands being ablaze. So we have been doing the work, putting in the energy, holding the discussions, but nothing has been done in the form of restorative energy for ourselves. And I think when we talk about manifesting, there has to be a certain point where we first restore ourselves and replenish ourselves so that we are coming from a clear head and knowing exactly what it is we need to be manifesting, right? Oftentimes, and I had a new moon circle, and people weren't clear on how to manifest or what it is they should be manifesting. Sometimes our manifesting is all about money. Like, how can we access money? How can we access love? How can we do all of these things that are external from us, but we're not doing the things that restore us personally? So if you want love, you got to give a little bit of love to yourself. So this card in particular warns us that if we don't do that, if we don't do that restorative energy or that process, that clearing process, that love work on ourselves, it could be detrimental. Now, this is the mother of 9s. A lot of us know about Oya. She is the mother of 9s, holding the balance of life and death in her hand. Okay? And that is what the 9 is saying. Like, you hold that energy for yourself. The balance of life and death is in your hands. And when we're manifesting, we have to be conscious co-creators. So this is the dark period of time.
Ooh, we lost Keisha. We were on mute. Hopefully she'll be back soon. Um, Picking up on the business of being in the dark season, it is a good time For those of us who are in the dark season, it is a good time for us to go within and really look at what we want to manifest and bring forward in our spirit for not only the coming months, but keeping, we'll say, the next 7 generations. Keisha, I see you back.
I'm back, my sister.
Keeping the
Thank
next 7
you.
generations in mind. Okay, good. Welcome. You got something else you want to say?
No, you are right in line with, like, go for it, babe. Thank you
Okay,
for
yeah.
picking up.
So we want to really think about sustainability across time and space. Living as we do in this very narrow incarnation. You know, we incarnated in a very particular lifetime, in a very particular span of time on this planet during a period of time that we commonly think of as a period of awakening or of reawakening, remembering. So here we all are at this time. We would know that we are living in this 3rd dimensional consciousness. That we have a 4th dimensional consciousness, which is like our auric fields, our dreams, and then more dimensions going out. You know, a good 12 dimensions are discussed, somewhat regularly, but honestly, it's beyond us. We'll say the 5th dimension and beyond are consciousness realms. There's no longer like polarities. There's no yes, no. It's no identity as we think of it. It's more of just realms of consciousness. And so if we can place ourselves a little bit more realistically, winter is a good time to do this, in the huge, as the teeny itsy bitsy interdependent speck that we are. And it's not even a speck because we're a particle and a wave at the same time, just as a part of this large cosmic soup. Then we realize that manifestation, creation, conscious co-creation, is something that's happening on many, many levels. It's a multifaceted thing. And when you sit down to create your manifestations, your festations, your creations, you are being a creator. You're moving the creator through you. You're moving your larger self, the big you that exists in many dimensions, that exists across time and space. You're calling all of that energy forward to really follow your larger guidance. So the manifestation is not just for you to be secure in your apartment, home, pay your car note, but it's more about really living your personal genius, really calling forward the wisdom during this dark period of yourself so that your choices around manifestation are coming from a really empowered place, are coming from a place that's about your personal genius. Why were you put here on earth at this particular time, walking in this particular ancient? Why did you choose traumas that you had to live through, the identities that you had to live through? All of it is with purpose. Everything that we're doing here is with purpose, and a lot of us don't like it, but frankly, we did incarnate during a time of war. So we're down here as warriors. We're down here as light warriors. That's what, it's a phrase that I do resonate with, because at the end of the day, it's what we're up to. And when you can really call forward that deeper, multidimensional, capital S self, a more powerful you, the you that came here with strength, that came here with vision, that came here with direction, then you have the power to really sit and begin to do your manifestation, your manifestation magic. And you can do that in so many different kinds of cool ways. I mean, you can decide to write it down, speak it out loud, say it in prayer, use any number of spells, do it around the fire, burn the ashes, preserve the ashes in, an area where you keep it, or you can preserve the ashes in the freezer. You can preserve the ashes in many ways. You can mix the ashes with herbs and then put them in the freezer, hold it in the freezer, and then take and put it in a body of water. There's so many ways that you could incorporate the elements into doing your ritual.
And so, for some, I'm not sure why, but it looks like we lost G and Keisha. I'm sure they're going to come right back in. I want to welcome our viewers that we have on tonight. And if folks want to ask us questions as we go along, I definitely invite y'all to do that. And I just want to continue with what G was talking about manifesting from an empowered place. So one of the things that I've been thinking about for the past 3 or 4 months or so is really, you know, so many of us manifest from the places of our woundedness. And so it's so important for us, like G said, to manifest from a place of empowerment. And so much of the time, we're manifesting based on what we don't want. And a lot of that also is coming forth from our beliefs about our certain situations. And so one of the things I said to G and Keisha before we started was for 2016, all I'm talking about is our beliefs, core beliefs, all 2016 for the most part, because our core beliefs about who we are, what we deserve, they really drive what we're manifesting, because the bottom line is we're manifesting all the time anyway. We're just not manifesting from a place of direction. We're always manifesting, but because of various things, our traumas, our dramas, etc., we're out picturing a lot of times those core beliefs. And so it's really important for us to really look at what our beliefs are. What do we think about ourselves? What do we think we deserve? What do we think we have access to, particularly as healers, particularly as people of color? You know, we really have to get in there and work that out. And so the card I pulled for tonight was the Five of Wands. And as you can see, the man on this card is doing things in a very methodical, almost, you know, ritualistic way. And so the thing that really came to me for this card was about releasing releasing old beliefs, releasing the old, using this time of darkness to really go in and uproot the things of the past methodically and ritualistically. And so using this time, depending on what hemisphere you're on, right? So we here obviously are buried. And so some of us have been forced inside, right? We're experiencing a forced stillness right now. And so I would encourage everyone out there to take advantage of sort of the forced stillness that is upon us. And so again, I want to welcome y'all to ask us questions. Join us on Facebook. This is our first episode of the new year, so we are really excited. I'm going to turn it back over to Keisha or G. And I'm going to be typing on Facebook, so if y'all see me looking down, I'm taking notes, and I'm posting on Facebook. And I would encourage y'all to take notes as well, the viewers out there.
I want to say that I didn't get to talk about the color red, or the fact that this mother is sitting on the earth. So she's pulling up that which is her power. So sitting in the seat of your power and pulling up from the earth the divine resources that is yours as a cosmic light being. There should be no reason why you can't tap into the healing beyond the fact that we have this headspace that we're often in, that we're not worthy of the healing, we don't have access to the healing, there is nobody out there for us to heal us, or we've been hurt by the medical industrial complex, so we don't want to go there. But I would implore you, if you're an activist, get a healer. If you are a healer, get a healer. Pull it up, manifest it from the earth, from our planet, our divine planet that can grow crystals. Surely, if this divine planet can grow crystals and grow plants from nothing, it can manifest or help you to manifest a healer that that is appropriate for your needs. So really look into the juiciness of the root chakra and the earth and all that she has to offer you, that divine feminine energy that is within all of us and accessible to all of us. So that's where I'll stop, and I'll hand it off to someone else.
Ashe. That's great advice, Keisha. Is I think anybody who's watching this is obviously open to guidance because we're sharing with each other. So exactly the frequency that caused you to want to be sitting here, spending this time educating yourself as a healer. To make sure that you are continuing your apprenticeship with people on however you can get it. Know that that's something to congratulate yourself for. And for those of you who are activists, who are teachers, who are parents, who are out here basically trying to live, kind of Black Witch live, we need each other's support. For me, I have had, a small army of guides and healers working with me for over 10 years now. In order to
Wow, okay, Dr. G she's back. Okay, G.
Yeah, sorry about that. This is the thing about my remote location, not the best connection. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. You're getting a little choppy.
All right.
Okay, there you go.
Healers.
Mercury.
I have
plus Mercury's in retrograde.
many of them. Yeah, true. I cannot stress enough the importance of having healers, because for me, working full-time as a healer, as a guide, as a teacher, as a channel, my body doesn't always stay online. Sometimes when you call in a lot of energy or you do a lot of healing work, it's not just putting out energy. Sometimes when you call in a lot of energy, it shifts you very quickly. And when you shift quickly like that, your physiology can't keep up with it, and your body begins to go offline. You may begin to develop pains in the body, arthritis, or headaches, or some eating disorder type stuff, like digestion stuff, asthma, allergies, any of these type of things. You need to have someone assisting you with, and you might need to have different people assisting you with different things, because as you continue to ascend and bring your frequency higher, you will also need people to help you to figure out how to maintain this three-dimensional container. This three-dimensional container is so delicate and so simplistic and so already tapped into a pattern that when you begin to shift the patterns, call in your community to help hold you. If anybody's experiencing something like this already, then definitely know that you would benefit from having other people's assistance. So definitely something to put on the manifestation list for 2016. Healers, guides, teachers, people to apprentice with.
Absolutely. And I know for me, I have a great acupuncturist here in New York, and I highly recommend anybody, in the New York area to go check out Third Root. They do acupuncture, they do yoga, they do community acupuncture, they also do private classes, and it's just also good as a healer, and we've talked about this last year, but it's also good as a healer to just get on somebody's table where you can just let all that stuff go. It's a lot of times, I know for me as a healer, I take on so many, hearing other people's stories all the time, and just to be able to go somewhere where I can lay on somebody's table and I don't have to be on, I'm not expected to have the answer, I'm not expected to be the expert, like I can actually just lay on the table and be taken care of. And my first session, that was very uncomfortable for me. I didn't really want to tell my acupuncturist anything. I wanted to, be in control of everything. And now I just go and I just let everything go, and it's been so helpful. So I highly recommend acupuncture or anything like that.
Yeah. Um, so you gave that out in Chicago. Um, the place that I work for, I mean, in New York, the place that I work for is Chicago Women's Health Center. Sojourner's Healing Room is my own practice. Um, we're donation-based services, sliding scale services, amazing work around the city. Just tap into these resources. It's going to require a little bit of vulnerability from you to do this. I know that it's very hard to be vulnerable, especially in circumstances where we don't know what's next, especially in circumstances and times of war. But that is the challenge for us as light workers, is to be vulnerable. It is to feel. It is to go there. Okay. If we are not feeling, if we are not going there, if we are not tapping into that essence of love, pain, hurt, anger, all of those multidimensional layers, how in the world are we expecting people to trust us to do that work with them? So when we're talking about opening up like that in that way to clear your energy, to start to manifest things that are of benefits to you, resources, money, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, it really is good to just be.
To be present and to be vulnerable. I'm sure that's what Keisha was going to say. And the thing about it also is, again, it's so important to know what it is you want to attract, and that you want to attract the right things. And we have so much stagnant energy around our sexual organs, around our hearts. One of the images that I saw before the call was just this heart with just this binding on it, with these ropes around it. And so it's so important, because that energy is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go away. You're going to just keep, being met with the same spiritual energy on different jobs, with different people, in different relationships, the same the same energy through landlords, friends, relatives, different people, but it's going to be the same energy. So you really have to get out there and shake that up, because you might manifest, but you're just going to manifest the same situation.
Right.
Not only that, but I really, once a person calls in their many selves, their higher selves, their personal genius, their closest guides, their closest ancestors, it will begin to come forward. Pay attention to what comes forward in your heart, what comes forward in your dreams. The act of paying attention is a crucial step in manifestation, because what you're doing is you're actually putting it out there to your guides, to your highest selves, to your larger self. So that sets the ball rolling. Now here's the thing. We very rarely get exactly what we ask for, because we don't have control over the universe. There are many variables involved in calling something into fruition. So sometimes we get really upset because we may call something in, and you have to be careful what you call in. Sometimes, for instance, it's so simple. People ask for a lot of money, and then sometimes they'll get hit by a car and get an insurance settlement. So, be careful with that sort of thing. Exactly. That's a real straightforward example of how you want to be careful what you ask for.
And clear. This is why we're saying, don't just be like, oh, I need to manifest. You got to be real clear.
Yeah.
Be precise.
And I also think it's important to detach from the outcome and just release the outcome and release your beliefs about how it needs to happen, how it needs to look, right? Because we might want to manifest something. I want to manifest, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even want to say, because I don't want to call it nothing crazy. But we want to manifest something, and we're so stuck on that particular image that something else may come along and it doesn't fit the way we have imaged it in our minds, and so we just let that go, right? So we want to detach from the outcome as well. So, believing that it can happen, believing that you deserve it, definitely having a picture in your mind, but just releasing that to the universe. And also, don't worry about how it's going to happen, because that's the other way that we cut ourselves off is, oh, I want this, but how's it going to happen? I don't have no money right now. How am I going to get this? Da, da, da. We can't worry about that part of it, right? We have to turn that part over to the universe.
True. A couple things you said, so it really made me think, go through our steps. Releasing attachment to the outcome, yes, it's an absolute critical part.
Oh, Mercury.
At
Oh, Mercury.
least it's consistent.
Oh, damn, Mercury.
At least Mercury is consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either
So,
Mercury or some other energies out there that don't want our messages to get through, but we will get through.
We will not be denied,
yes.
damn it. We will
Not
not
be,
be denied.
not be.
No, no, no. Let me try.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, humans, for being patient. We're continuing to evolve technology. They're meeting bandwidth out to us. They have enough bandwidth for us to all have great conversations, but they're keeping it small to make us all have a scarcity model when there's actually bandwidth for everyone. Meanwhile, I'd like to call that in. Free bandwidth for all.
Free bandwidth for all. Exactly. Can we?
Now, see, that's funny. They start talking about free bandwidth for all, and they immediately get dropped off.
Yeah, they threw me off for that. They're like, free bandwidth? I don't think so.
Okay, they're like, yeah, we're about to show you what that is. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
they're like, we're not having none of that.
Wow.
We're not having that free bandwidth. You're going to pay for this.
By matter of fact, don't say it no more. Don't say it no more. Go ahead. Go to your point.
Okay,
Go to your
okay.
point.
You deserve, my beloveds, everyone, myself included, you deserve this life. In the world of beliefs, it's always topic of the year, most of us have been trained to believe that we don't actually deserve our basic rights. There's a sense of asking for too much.
Come on,
I
G.
find when people finally start feeling better, start getting financially secure, start getting comfortable, start getting success in their career, they begin to feel guilty. They begin to feel self-conscious. Begin to ask themselves, have I done something wrong? After working so hard to create something, to manifest something, once it begins to come in, it is very interesting to see how these old paradigm belief systems of value begin to play themselves out, and we begin to not accept our blessings. So everyone, a critical part of creating is to have full faith in your right to be here, in your right to have, in your right to feel, in your right to see, in your right to do, in your right to love, in your right to know. These are your rights as part of your incarnation. And so that's a daily practice as well to put into these winter months, is the practice of really noticing when your mind goes into that not worthy place so that you can begin to disrupt the pattern. It's not your pattern. It's a pattern we're all tapped into through the collective consciousness. It's a pattern that was taught through most of the prevailing religions right now. And so as a group, we have to begin to break our attachment to that lack of value in order to properly manifest and co-create an expansive vision for the coming 7 generations and beyond.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
our sister witch, Aja Echeverria, said something about 2 years ago, and I've never forgotten it. She was talking to someone who was talking about why they couldn't do what I'm sure they were fully capable of doing, or probably even more capable. And she said to him, don't argue for your limitations,
Mm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we will go to war and battle for our limitations.
Yes.
But battling for our freedom, not so much.
Right. And Zoe, something you said last time we talked behind the scenes, because we do talk behind the scenes. Um, we don't just get on the show and talk to each other. But
Hmm.
something you said to me has been really resonating in my mind is that how people of privilege, um, white people in particular, start off with a base that they have a right to certain things, certain freedoms, certain manifestation. So manifestation comes from an imbalanced point already with them because they already believe that they have a right. They have no guilt around it. Like, seriously, they feel like they have a right to manifest or bring into fruition that which they have called out. With us, with people who have been the underdog and been beat down so long and been poor so long and been oppressed so long, we really have to unravel our right to access our own magic before we can even call anything in.
One
So,
step further, we have to access our right to be on the planet.
yes, yes.
That root chakra work.
That red work, that root chakra. Yes, yes,
We
mama
don't
showing up.
we don't even believe that we have a right to be here, like G was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't feel like you have a right to be here, how are you going to access your magic? You're not. You're not. Or it might come and it's going to go, but it's not. You're not. It's not going to happen. I mean, you're going to get little bits of wonderful things that happen, little great things that happen, but you're not going to have that sustained, wonderful life that G was talking about if you don't believe that you have a right to even walk on this earth.
Yeah.
Ashe. Yeah, and that's the undoing. This is where I begin to really want to encourage those of you who can to do it. The multidimensional sense of self, including working with ancestors and guides, realizing that you're much more expansive all over the place than you are. You're not just all of your consciousness, all of the thing that makes you up is not just incarnated in this body. This is just a part of the larger I am-ness. Okay, and for those, some of you know what I say when I say I am, and some of you maybe it's beginning to resonate with you as, oh, what is this great I am-ness? It becomes really exciting and complicated, and it's something that's easiest to understand if you take time to look at physics. Physics has done a great job of showing us what the universe looks like. And when you see our solar system inside of a galaxy, and then you see all these other galaxies, this gigantic web, it does help you to understand the I am-ness. And so when you realize that that is what you're calling on, you really have access to boundless universal energy, and that it's not personal.
Yes.
Really not personal. It's not as simple as our good deeds and our bad deeds, because good and bad really only exist in this third dimension anyway, because this is the place where it's crunching to just be right and wrong, and we have polar opposites, we have gender identity, we have things that just aren't really part of the I am, but it's part of what makes us capable of living in this human form on Earth at this time, is a sense of being part. I experience myself as apart from Zoe, experience myself as apart from Keisha, experience myself when really we're all a wonderful, frequent, co-creative frequency right now. And we ourselves are like a satellite or an antenna. We're emitting a powerful frequency, all of our collective conscious. And even doesn't matter if people are watching this live or 10 years from now, we're co-creating nonetheless and emitting this frequency. And when you can begin to think like that, then your conscious creations will be a bit more tangible. The filaments of light will move quicker. You won't have to get bogged down as much in sort of the social justice world that we live in, of all the oppressions, because the oppressions are really not, they're not in the way of your magic. They're in the way of your magic if you can't get yourself together enough to even think straight. But if you're watching this video, you think straight enough to be able to whip any kind of magic out that you want. And it's coming from us, so we know what we're saying, because we've been putting up with too much. We've been putting up with too much. But we out here, and you out here too. Everybody, there's nothing stopping you from connecting with your ancestors. There's nothing stopping you with connecting with that source energy that is actually yours. That's your birthright. That's your existence right. There's nothing stopping you from really going deeper in your dream work and going deeper in your ritual work. Just start doing it, saying, on the new moon, I'm going to plant these seeds. Or on the full moon, I'm going to do big fruition manifestation rituals. I'm going to do it with fire. I'm going to do it with water. Decide to start doing the work and just see what happens. Do it.
One good method of, like, we're in the full moon. Full moon is ripe for banishing, getting rid of some shit. Clear out your closets, clear out the clutter, donate some stuff to somebody. I would also offer souring spells. Get your souring spells, get you a jar, put you some stuff that's sour, some vinegar, whatever. Write your fears down on a sheet of paper and put it in that souring pot. Let it go to bed. I would do some souring spells on some of these police.
So I'm sure that they will be right back on, but one of the things that came to me when G was talking about nothing is holding us back, and the first thing that came to me, and I can't wait for Keisha to come back on and talk about souring spells on police officers, about nothing holding us back. And so one of the things that came to me was nothing is holding you back from putting down the sugar and the other shit that's blocking your brain, all of that. Nothing is stopping you from fucking the wrong people, from mixing up your energy with people that you don't need to be mixing it up with. So you may not be able to manifest the big houses and the cars right away, but certainly you can put down the sugar and stop fucking the wrong people that are going to fuck up your mind and keep you in a space of lack, right, in your own mind. So that's all I got to say on that. I'm going to turn it back over to Keisha so she can talk about the souring spell.
So what I was saying was souring spells. So souring spells are meant to banish, to get rid of people. Often it's people that need to exit your life, a co-worker you need to leave out of your environment, blah, blah, blah. But I would venture to say, and I have used it, to banish fear. Sometimes fear gets in our way so much, and when we can dissect that fear, write it out. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of flying? Are you afraid of, like, progressing? What are your fears? Write them down. Put them in that jar of vinegar. All the nasty stuff. Rotten egg. Put an egg in there. Let it just disintegrate. Let it be something really nasty. cut it up. Put shards of glass in there. Just cut that fear down to size. Um, these were once known as witches' jars. People have dug them up. And then, I every time I am feeling that fear, I'll shake it up, shake it up, shake it up until that fear has dissolved, and then bury that jar and be done with it. Bury that jar. You have the power to do this work. And vanishing sometimes is manifesting. You're manifesting a whole being when you can get rid of some shit. So.
Yeah. Another ritual I want to put onto that vanishing and souring spell that came to my heart while you were speaking, Keisha, is, and Zoe actually as well, talking about fucking the wrong people, is energetically, we do find that we energetically get hooked in and tied into our lovers. So lately I've been holding some rituals with people, apprentices, patients, to clear those hooks that are coming in. There are people, they say they're dreaming about their exes or they're not moving on. They're bringing baggage. Their relationships are now failing because all the old heartbreaks seem to all show up every time they get in a relationship. It's just too much effort. It's like, forget it, I can't be bothered. I'm just going to go back to my life. I can't even put the effort in to make a relationship. So take and write down, this is hard for some of us, the names of everybody, or if you don't know the name, the identity, that person from that club. And is the tricky part, right? Attracted to about the person. Really dap the person out, because the people who are stressing you and hooking you the most are probably people who you're thinking something negative about, why you broke up, what they did to you, how they triggered you, how emotional, just an emotional response. So let's remember, what was the attraction at first? What was it that really called me to this person? So we can remember that, and then we can also remember what the harm is, or and then if it's possible, what the core feeling is. What is this person really triggers my abandonment stuff from being, abandoned as a child, and I ended up in a relationship that replayed that out for me. So this is why I have such a bad trigger. But I was really attracted to the person because at first the person really made me feel safe, and I hate to admit it, but I have to admit that they made me feel safe at first. Write all that down and then put it in a fire. Have you a nice sacred fire, feed that fire, make sure you treat that fire properly, give it some cornmeal and or tobacco and alcohol, Florida water, herbs, what you have. If you have bay leaves, you can put them in sets of 3, and blow your prayers into bay leaves, put them in there. Set the fire, ask the spirits of the fire to
I cannot. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
I'm not going to be. You will not be stopped by this
Yeah.
internet issue.
I know.
Have the fire, call that transmutative power that fire has. We use different elements for different rituals. Fire makes big change. Fire can turn a whole forest to smoke in just a matter of time. Fire's amazing. So anyway, call that in, and then feed that paper that you took the time to write down, feed that in there. And when you feed it, then take and put some sugar on top of it, some sweetness. Keep feeding the fire as well. Pour some alcohol on it, pour some Florida water on it. And really take your time and ask your guides to remove those hooks out of your body. Get those hooks out. Any sort of sexually transmitted connections that you still have. You may have them on other dimensions. You may be simultaneously living another parallel life with this person. If you are doing that, you want to say, I am detaching any hooks in this life with this person, because they are distracting me. I am not going to continue to say, maybe they're my soulmate. No, maybe you're living a parallel life with them, sure. But that just because you have parallel connections with people and you have awakenings with people doesn't mean they're all your soulmates. Sometimes you come, you handle business, you tie up some business with someone, you do recognize them, and you keep it moving because you had something you needed to tie up and you tied it up. So I highly recommend that ritual. It's a great clearing. You'll be able to of yourself and do some better manifesting after getting that clarity, getting all these other auric fields off of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's so great. I was trying to capture all of it for Facebook. So if I don't, you can like go in and edit. G. I was trying to capture all of that because that's really, really great. That's so helpful for people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially the parallel lives piece. My goodness.
Do we have
I
any
know.
questions, Zoe?
Let me see.
And how long are we in?
Ooh, let's see. We've got 15 minutes. Has anybody found? Oh, I wonder why people can't get in. That's so weird. I'm not sure why. Um, Mercury in retrograde showing out. Oh, people having trouble viewing live, but will
Mm.
most definitely catch the replay.
Oh gosh, Mercury. Just
Yeah,
going out with a bang, baby.
yeah, it is. So no questions, just folks having a hard time getting in. So you can go on, Keisha, with what you were going to say, dear.
Yeah. Um, for all intents and purposes, we use what you got at home. A lot of this stuff, do your practical magic. Do your cleansing work. Nothing beats having a clear head. And then when you're going into manifestation, ask yourself, what are your priorities for this thing that you're trying to manifest? Why bring it into existence? What is it? What is the need for it? Who is it going to serve? How will it serve you? How will it serve your community? You know, we have to really be clear on our intentions, um, and putting in the work necessary to bring about the change that we want to see. It's not something that you can just go into lightly, say a few words, usher a prayer or two, but this is actually work. It's spirit. It's called spirit work for a reason. And so when you're working, you're not just working with the spirits. You're working on yourself. You're helping the spirits work with you. You're working in your community. You're raising the vibration. So just really be intentional and ask yourself, but what purpose? What is the purpose?
Sometimes and then do that soul searching. Allow yourself to listen deep. And the purpose sometimes is not really true to you. And you learn something about yourself that you've been meaning to learn, which is you're ready to be true to yourself. Sometimes the purpose is, I want this accolade. Or why do you want it? Because my parents will be proud of me. My family expects this of me.
We're back.
Yeah, sometimes we do these things for prestige, or we do these things for ego reasons. So we have to realize that that we go for the easier thing, the thing that's going to keep us looking good in this paradigm. Go for your personal genius. Go for your real you. Go for your passion. Go for your desire. Go for you being the best version of you, because you're star-seeded exactly how you should be in this incarnation, to serve the united frequency of the whole. And if you call forward your passion, your strengths, and the best of you, that's what we want to see. That's what everyone wants.
So, G, what do you think about how you may know if you're manifesting? I mean, I know we don't really believe in right and wrong. We don't really subscribe to that. But how do you know, and or you, Keisha, how would you know if you're manifesting from your highest good versus some other reason, ego or whatever? How do you two think you would know the difference?
For me, it comes from a place of sitting with it. How do I feel on the inside? Is my stomach churning over it? Is there something I'm getting high anxiety from? Am I clear-headed about it? Is this something that's flowing through me? Like, for instance, when I was pulling the card and you were playing the Fela Kuti in the background, and then I had that download of just like steady flow of message. That's how I know that this is coming from spirit and not coming from a place of me trying to move spirit the way I want to move spirit. Because sometimes I'll get into that very anxious place where I'm like, dang it, but I want it this way, and I really, really wanted it this way. And spirit's like, honey, you ain't on your time, boo. I thought you knew.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like when I'm more just like there's an ebb and flow and more relaxed state about it. I'm not so anxious about it. I'm also paying attention. Like when I got that Harriet Tubman download this morning, I was just rocking the baby last night and saw the full moon, and then I saw that North Star and went to bed just really with that in my mind's eye, and I woke up to this whole download of messages from Harriet Tubman. So, it really is just a steady, non-anxious place of being when I feel like I'm manifesting at my best.
I would say sometimes you do something and you realize you shouldn't have done it. And that's part of life too.
Yeah, right?
Sometimes you found out that you shouldn't have did that, but you did it because you used your little powers and you used them for good, so you thought. But really, you just wanted to get the bills paid right quick. But really, you were in a panic, so you pulled something off, I mean, people do it all the time. You just really, really have a bad crush on somebody, so force that, you just pursue them till they come around to you. Yeah, your heart probably gonna get broke later. You done chase somebody. They done told you no. They done tried to disappear. You done chased them some more. You finally wore them down. They loved you. They got with you, and then they broke your heart. Yeah. You do call these things forward, and then a lot of times you find out for yourself.
That is funny.
Experience is a good teacher for the damn manifestation. You'd be like, oh.
Why did I manifest that? Why did I call that in again?
And again.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That experience is no joke. So, sometimes you have to learn.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want that to show up again. So how can I, quickly banish that and not do that again.
Yeah. That's the thing, doing it quickly, recognizing. And so again, if you have a practice of being around healers, if you have a practice of sitting in silence, if you have a practice of being still, then you'll be able to pick up on those things faster so that you can make that shift.
Well, before we close out, let's first of all say welcome everybody to 2016. It is going to be a beautiful year for this reason. It's a very intense year, but what I can say positive about it is the actual work that we've been doing as a collective, co-creatively, has actually expanded our capability to hold frequency. So no one get disheartened now because the power to manifest and manifest is greater than ever. The power to co-create, the power to see out. You may feel so frustrated with some of your own patterns, like you've been trying really hard to break certain patterns, but you fall into these deep doldrums of depression or anger or violence or dissociation or whatever it may be, anxiety. Um, the frequency just opened up so that you very well may be able to decipher these messages, because a lot of these heavy, heavy emotions that we get hit by, where we're like, why is this happening here? You know we're spirit people and we're getting hit and we can't figure it out, is because, again, other dimensions. We're being spoken to in a language that we can't understand. So these different emotions and thoughts that go through our heads, we're trying to interpret them. It's like how we all are when we look at the so-called past and we go to Kemet and we look at the hieroglyphs and we look at the temples, and no one still can understand it. We haven't quite been able to remember our past enough to decipher the language. Well, this year we will do better at decoding. We should stay in communication with each other more, share the decoding, share what we have with each other. What I've learned about my anxiety or my this or my that, I'm going to share that with other people, because this is a language, an emotional language that's actually coming from spirit. It is not just a pathology. Why am I not happy? It's silly. We already know that's not the case. So 2016, 2017, 2018, the portal's opening. The container has strengthened significantly because of the growing critical mass and the work that's happened up until now, as well as all the star seed assistance that we've been receiving. And let's all really stay present to our ability to decode and to expand even more so and with more strength.
So, y'all, with that being said, we have more frequency as Black Witch Chronicles. We are now going to be on Julie McDonald's network, February 3rd. Right, Zoe? Am I right?
Yep. February 3rd, 8 o'clock, medium at large. And you can find us. We will definitely have the information on our Black Witch Chronicles Facebook page, and I'm sure you can find it on Julie McDonald's page as well. So we're very excited to, as Keisha said, expand our frequency every month.
Yes, so that's Julie McDonald's Medium at Large radio podcast. She has a beautiful podcast. She has great guests, people from all kind of walks of spirit life, and lots of downloads come through there. And we will have the monthly corner. So her show is a 2-hour show. We'll have about a 30-minute spot on that show once a month. It looks like we're going to have the first week of the month, so February 3rd, Meeting at Large Radio, we will be there. I also want to say I, too, am available out here as a healer. I see a limited number of people remotely, and for divinations, apprenticeship, and healing work. And you can get more information at fivedirectionswellness.com, F-I-V-E, directionswellness.com, and you can contact me through the number 5, directionswellness at Gmail, through the email if you want to communicate. And I know Keisha, can you get your information, please, on Saturnus Healing Room?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Sojourner's Healing Room. And I take donation-based Reiki service, divination. I hold a class, a Black Witch Chronicles / Sojourner's Healing Room monthly.
And I'm sure Keisha will be right back on. And you can reach me, Zoe Flowers, at soulrequirements.org. I also provide tarot reading services, meditation, Reiki sessions, and I am also have lots of creative things coming up this year. So be on the lookout for From Ashes to Angels Dust. We will be having 2 shows, one in New Jersey in March, and one here in New York City on March 30th. I just want to, Keisha, you're back. Will you talk real quickly about next month's show before you give, or after you give your information, whichever way? Whichever way you want to do it.
If Mercury don't put me off again. So
Okay.
next month's topic is Black love. Black love as a form of liberation, where we will discuss the expanding definition of Black love, how we see it as loving each other, loving one another, and also white people understanding loving Black people as a radical act and movement towards liberation and freedom for all of us. So we're going to really go there next month, talking about liberation and what it means to love a Black person. And I'm talking about some John Brown love, white people. Get your game on right, okay? I'm talking about sacrificing yourselves and your children, okay? Don't come for us next month. I'm just saying.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody who hung in with us tonight through all of our wonderful technical difficulties. And the folks that could not get on, of course, you can follow us. You know, the YouTube video will be up in, I don't know, 5 seconds or so. So you can follow us on YouTube. Anything else y'all want to say before we sign off?
No, we love you and we're so happy to be back.
We are happy to be back. See y'all next month. Love. All right. Peace.